Well, good morning, everybody. This is Lynna, and you're watching Lynna's Life. I'm resting nicely here on my bed. Back home in Chelan. Got back from Spokane around midnight last night. It's it wasn't a very profitable venture last couple of days. I started working for a couple of different companies, and well, let's just say it didn't quite pan out. Yesterday I sat in my car from 2 p.m. until around 7:40. And then at the end of the shift, which ended at 8, I got one delivery. Yeah, it was a lesson in patience and tolerance, I guess. But yeah, so that was then. That was yesterday, and I just decided to come home. It's so beautiful, such a wonderful, relaxing place. I got home and I took some incredible images. The sky was doing something really crazy last night, like clouds at night, and were just really magical. I took some pictures, and I put one of them up on my Facebook page, but yeah, it was just amazing. So, I guess I'm gonna be just, I guess I will go into town today, go into Wenatchee, and work. But it's been a good day so far. I woke up yesterday with, oh my gosh, the worst itchiness on this eye. I don't know if you guys could tell, but I blew a blood vessel, I guess. That's what my boyfriend said. He had me take a picture since he's a medical professional. He gave me his medical professional, yeah. And his advice after seeing a picture of my eye. You see my eye? It's this one. I swear I thought there was something in it. Like I had horror stories of having an old contact lens that might have been stuck out way back behind. I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking, but. And then my friend from across the lake, she said, "Oh, that's a few broken blood vessels." I had it, and I thought I couldn't go to work, and then I basically just took a couple of drops, and then I was back to work. Thankfully, it was just that, but throughout the issues I've had, issues with hurting my eyes, wearing contacts all the time, it kind of gives your eye no chance to give it a break and stuff, and it needs oxygen, and a lot of times contacts can be restricting. So yeah, I think that every now and then giving your eyes a break by wearing, glasses and stuff is a good thing, because, your eyes, they're important, and they're the window to your soul. And, yesterday, half of the window to my soul was ugh. It was like that fiery, itchiness that or pain that woke me up last night, or the other night, the other morning. It just woke me up, and I was just like, oh my gosh, this burns, this burns. And so I got up, went to the bathroom, and started putting like my contact lens solution on it, and it was like, oh, made it worse. It just made it burn even more, you know. So I was like, what am I gonna do? You know, it burns, and I have to go work. And then I like put water on it and tried to like douse it with but the water didn't even work. The water was like, um it wasn't as bad as the other, but it was pretty bad. So yeah, a day later, and a trip to Fred Meyer to get some, what is it, Sustain, I guess I got. It's called Sustain. Let me see. Do I have it? Did I get it? I'm just trying to reach for it. I don't know where it is. Oh, I have to put it on, but wow, it made a huge difference eventually. Um, so, um, my boyfriend helped me get home. Like, I took a little longer way back because I wanted to continue to talk to him and stuff. And the other way that I go to get back from Spokane is just, it's pretty, and it's faster, but it's just less populated, like for using a cell phone and stuff like that. The connection is just not that great. I had like one issue with it um, coming back, but you know, we kind of like started losing connection. Sorry, guys, I'm like still waking up. I make these videos and it's just like barely out of bed. Like I went to the bed, I went to the bathroom and stuff, and just came back. But yeah, so oh my gosh. Life is so good, you guys. Life is so good. I am just so unbelievably grateful for everything that's taking place in my life. I mean, so many beautiful things are going to be happening. I talked to my boyfriend about it, and it's like, he's like, yeah, you just don't know how much I want to love you. I want to share my love with you, and just to let you feel my love. You know, it's like to make you feel my love. Remember that song? You know? I mean, it's like it's being sung to me, you know? It's just an amazing feeling. To be wanted like that, to be desired like that, it's the stuff of dreams, you know? It's really the stuff of dreams that someone would want you to feel their love for you. And this amazing story has a beginning that started quite early for this man. His feelings for me started quite early. He started off when I was basically the first few months when I was with my ex. April the 10th, he says he saw my picture and he knew that I was that person that he'd been looking for. No joke, you guys, no joke. April 10th, 2015. Can you believe it? That's like, I'm not very good at math again. And pardon me if I count on my fingers, but let's count, everyone. 16, 17. Oh wait, I need to put on my teacher glasses. Yes, because I am being a teacher right now. Okay, class, let's count. 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 5 years, and 21, 6 years. 6 years. 6 years, you guys. 6 years. This guy's been waiting in the wings. He kind of basically, he believes in like spirit beings and like guides and things like that. Guardian angels. I'm not sure how it all works out, but there are higher dimensions, sentient beings that are looking out for us. And in his case, he said he saw me, right? Say April 10th. And I go scrolling back, you guys. So literally go scrolling back on my messenger. And I go all the way back to April 10th. And he reached out to me. Yeah, he reached out to me back on April 10th of 2015. And that was when I was starting a coconut water fast that my ex and I, were on, that my ex put me on. And I just drank coconut water. And it was for my healing and stuff like that. But so this guy, right? And he goes, you know what? I'm gonna tell you the whole story when I see you. The whole story, how you've made me wait. Because here's the deal. He told his guardian angel type, beings, like, and said, but why? She's taken. I mean, she'll never like be mine. And they told him, they said, you're just gonna have to wait for her because she has lessons to learn. No kidding, you guys. I mean, this is stuff that really happens, right? Because, I mean, he has no reason to make this up. No reason. None. So, he's like, so, and his guides told him, she will be with a person for several years, but it won't last. And so just want you to wait. Just wait. So he's literally been waiting. Like he's literally been waiting. I'm just like, whoa, what? How can this be? I mean, how can this be? That someone would be waiting for me? God. I'm just like, I can't believe it. I can't believe that this is happening. So anyway, I obviously made him wait a long time. I made him wait like 6 years. Getting back together with that person and breaking up. And then he said back in 2019 when I got back together for the last time that he drank 2 shots of whiskey. It just got drunk that night because he was like, what the hell is going on? She's back with that person again. Yeah. I guess I had lessons to learn. I think I had lessons to learn about defensiveness or something. I don't know. I learned a lot though. I learned a lot about narcissism, about dealing with negativity, about choosing to look at life from the sunny side. Remember that song? Looking on the sunny side of life. Looking on the sunny side of life. Yeah, right. So I chose to look at the sunny side of life this year. It's taken me that long. Yeah. Like looking at the sunny side of life this year, right? Not dwelling on the negativity. Allowing myself to experience positive things. Being around positive people. Expecting beautiful things to happen in my life and not negative. Not worrying about the sky falling. Not worrying about the end of the world. Not worrying about the second coming or hell or, eternal life, whether I have it or not, or being written in the Lamb's Book of Life or anything like that. I mean, I'm literally not concerned. I'm literally not worried about the afterlife, about my future. I'm not pessimistic. I just don't live there. I feel like, the concept of hell is a part of that whole plan to get people to fear and to live out of this like sense of dread and discomfort and feeling like they can't like survive without help from above. I mean, I personally think God has equipped us all with the ability to do the things that we need to do in this life, and that we call on him to help us in our time of need. But more often than not, what he reminds us of is to call up the gifts that he's already placed within us for the time that we need it. And there's no greater gift than the gift of experience. The gift, yeah, dare I say it, the gift of failure. Doing things the wrong way. Missing the mark. They call it sin. The Greek word for sin is, I don't know the Greek word for sin, sorry. What I wanted to say was the meaning of the word sin is literally comes from a term in archery that says that the archer aimed her bow, at the target and happened to not hit it So they missed the mark, right? And in missing the mark, well, they learned how not to do things. Like maybe they put their finger on the bow the wrong way, on the arrow. Maybe they didn't hold their breath. Maybe they moved slightly. That's called sinning. That's what sin is. It's simply missing the mark. And it's not based on doing evil. It's not based on being bad. It's not based on, you know, your desperately wicked heart who can know it, you know. It's based on just making mistakes. And unfortunately, we're all on this planet. And we, by being on this planet, we're all capable of making multiple mistakes. Like a ton. You know the story about Thomas Edison, who's credited with the light bulb, although it wasn't him, it was an African American guy who really discovered it. But the legend goes that he literally went through so many different ways of trying to create a light bulb that he made like thousands and thousands of mistakes. He was missing the mark several times. But that one time came where he went to do his experiment, and what do you know? Light. Yeah, a light bulb came on for the first time after thousands of mistakes, after thousands of missing the marks, after thousands of sins. You don't need blood to cover sin. Sin is simply missing the mark. That's it. We make mistakes, we learn, we grow, we repeat the things that are of a benefit to us, and we choose to discard the things that are not helpful. So, one of my sins, quote unquote, one of my sins was in constantly living in a defensive state, constantly trying to defend myself, like trying to get myself for people to understand my plight or my place or my position and my opinion. You know, if I was, hey, no, it wasn't like that, it was like this, and you're constantly like, no, 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 you don't understand, it was like this. And it's like, that's not going to help anything, because unfortunately everyone has an opinion, and they might not have your opinion. They might not agree with you. Like, they might not agree with your choices. They might not like what you're doing. They might not like how you brush your hair, or how you do your makeup, or how you walk, or what car you drive. They may not like the fact that, you smile, or that, I mean, they might not like your nose. They might not like the timbre of your voice. They might not like, there's so many things. They might not like your necklace. They might not like your teeth. They just might not like you. And there's no need to defend yourself. See, the lesson that we learn is that we walk away from the things that don't serve to make us better people. If someone is in your life and they're constantly criticizing you, and not in a good way, but they're constantly tearing you down. They're constantly telling you that you don't measure up, that you're not enough, that you need to change, that you're broken, that you need to be fixed, that you need to refocus your priorities, that you need to look at life differently, that you need to change in order to become a better person, someone that they can like better. You see, I was told that, you know, I was told that I wasn't enough just by the fact that I transitioned. My functionality as a human was relegated to insignificant, unnecessary, not useful, not suitable for public consumption. I mean, basically, my transition rendered me dysfunctional. I remember sitting on the bench back in March of 2014 with my ex. It was in the evening, and she looked at me and she said, "You know, the kids don't need another mom." And I said, "Oh, I would never take your place or assume that I could. I mean, I would never ever think that." And she goes, "Yeah, but what are you? I mean, if you can't be what we want you to be, then what are you? What function do you serve?" And it reminds me of what my ex used to say. You know, trans people don't have any functionality. They serve no function at all. I mean, because from an early time, I remember being told, um, negative things about being me. You know, I've been with women, and you're no woman. You know, I've had many relationships with women, with biological women, and having a relationship with you is different. And I'm like, duh. I mean, I'm like, yeah, I guess it would be different living the life I've had, the several years that I wasn't transition, and how I've had experiences that are far different than a typical woman would have. Yeah, I'm not gonna say that I'm like some typical whatever, you know. I'm I'm a blend, right? I run on gas and diesel, or gas and electric, whatever. I've got different experiences. I wasn't socialized, raised the way, you know, that I would have wanted to in my heart of hearts, um, learning lessons about things in life these days that no one ever taught me. It's never given the keys to being able to express the way I want to express, caused by years of like understanding that whatever I did, I needed to do it a certain way or else I was never going to be accepted. So, it's like you grow up with those expectations, and then you find somebody that has more expectations on you and tells you, you know, oh, you don't measure up. You're not quite what you think you are. And it's very discouraging, right? It's very hurtful to hear that because, you know, we have dysphoria. It's a thing. And we see ourselves as women. We see ourselves that way. And when somebody chooses to come at you and say, no, 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 you're not that, you're this. And it's like, okay, well, why am I with you? I mean, I remember thinking to myself, why did I stay here? I mean, I'm better now. I have a car. I'm just gonna leave, and just say thank you and move on with my life and be around people who want to affirm and validate my existence rather than denigrate. And so I thought there was a way that I could just contemplating on the floor of that RV back in 2015. Ironically, around the same time that this man who wanted to accept me as I was without any hesitations or any doubts. Meanwhile, there's this guy who just fell in love with my person. And I'm sitting there on the floor, crying, missing my kids. Being told that basically that transition wasn't completely legit, after how many years that they transitioned, they wanted to get a do-over and not be that way, or I don't know. I don't know what they expected. I honestly don't know what they expected of me. What they thought I was capable of being for them. It was it was a challenging time. So I'm sitting there, right? April of 2015, March of 2015. And I'm like, we're obviously different kinds of people. Oh, I knew you were going to leave me. As soon as you healed up, I just felt like you weren't going to stay. And I'm like, oh no. I'm breaking another person's heart. I can't do that. I mean, I had a relationship with like a trans woman the first time ever, and back a year before that, and I just didn't have the same kind of affection and feeling that they had for me. And they didn't like it. They got upset at me and, you know, did bad things to me. And to this day, we don't talk. I mean, it's like the relationship, the friendship kind of like blew up. Although they're married and everything and, they have their life, they just didn't want to have anything to do with me. So again, I felt that rejection, and here's this person who comes in my life, right? Has been instrumental in healing me, in helping me recover from a terrible, terrible accident. And he sets the bar really high and says, I just knew you were going to leave if you got better. And I thought to myself, oh, I've got to stay. I'm going to learn to love this person and we're going to have a great life and, you know, make it work. So it was like not even a month after that, I decided to make a video. Had my iPad, was looking at stuff online, fell into a story about Riley, a little transgender child who was born as Mia or Maya, and just didn't feel right about that and wanted to change it. So the parents decided to bring Riley to school and to get the school administration to recognize their new son. And Riley was just 5 years old. And I thought to myself, and I made a video about it and said, you know, it just seemed to me that the child was being forced to transition. And it got kind of not super viral, but it went to like Rad Femme blogs and stuff. And they picked it up and they were like, all of a sudden contacting my ex and saying, you guys are brave for putting that out there, and you know, the dangers, trans kids and the dangers and something like that. I was talking about the drugs that they're giving these kids, these puberty, not puberty blockers, but these Dupron, I think, Lupron. I got in trouble for. Next thing you know, I made myself a public enemy of the trans community. Next thing I know, my ex is wanting to detransition. Stops taking hormones. And we do like one of the shows where I'm wearing a ball cap and a t-shirt, and it was just like kind of for effect. It was just kind of like shocking all people or something. And then my ex decides that they rather be a woman. And I'm thinking to myself, is this something that I want? I had a beautiful family and a gorgeous spouse, gorgeous wife. We were college sweethearts, right? Mother of my kids. I wasn't looking for a woman. And I'm not looking for someone to support my quote unquote fantasy either. I was looking for safety. I was looking to be understood. I was looking for a safe place to lay my head, a safe person to be with. And I fell into one of the most precariously dangerous places that any trans woman would ever wish to experience. It was awful. The sense of like not knowing what was going to happen, being told, oh, I want to detransition because I look more like a man, and with their kids and stuff, I just, you know, I want to keep the door open. And I was like, no, 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 no. My kids will never, ever want you in their lives. Just not gonna happen. Oh, no, and no. No es posible. No es posible. No Es posible. And that's exactly what it means. It's not possible. Um, so I lived with this sense of like being told, like, you're gonna have to get off hormones. You know that, right? Because eventually, I'm like, and you're talking about a person who hasn't been on hormones for very long. I had just started. They had been on their journey for almost 20 years, right? Almost over 10. And they're telling me, "Oh yeah, you're going to have to like eventually stop taking hormones because hormones like I don't even know if they do anything for trans women actually. I mean, some of them look so manly anyway and oh, by the way, you don't need testosterone. Oh wait. No, of course I don't. You don't need Spiro. Spiro's dangerous. Let me show you. Research. Looking for research on Spiro. Oh, the dangers of Spiro. There's a trans woman named Rachel Francone who's like done a bunch of research. She started talking about the dangers of Spiro and how you could do your transition with simply by taking only estrogen. And I remember in a conversation with this person, with this Rachel person, at that time in that year, they're like having a conversation with us privately. And she's like, oh, yeah, I douse myself with like topical estrogen. And, sometimes, I mean, so how much is too much? Oh, it's not too much as your body can handle. And it's like, and it works really well. And it's doing some wonderful things to me. And it's like, so I'm like, being told about the dangers of estrogen and the dangers of Spiro and progesterone, and I'm gonna have to like cut off my usage of hormones eventually. And I'm like living in this land of pessimism and negativity and criticalness. Recently I got contacted by a trans person living in the UK who came across materials that my ex and I had put out and statements that we had made early on, mostly back in 2015-16 when I was on this terrible rant against the trans community. I said stupid things and I hurt a lot of people in the process. I did some dumb things back then. I was not well mentally, psychologically damaged, still recovering from my accident, but that still doesn't paint an excuse. But they recently contacted me and they said, I can't trust you. I don't know. Your ex is saying this and that about the trans community. And it's like, please, please, whatever you do, don't lump me in with my ex. I have not and will not say anything negative towards the trans community ever, ever, ever. Never. And the things that I did say, I have long since asked for forgiveness and made complete retribution as far as like, you know, feeling bad, um, apologizing profusely to everyone in the trans community, doing everything that I could, to make sure that I didn't leave that door open to being any more hurtful than it had already been. But this person just was like, I'll have nothing of it. I still don't trust you. And it's like, I am not my ex. Influenced by my ex, yeah. Controlled and, you know, stuff like that, yeah. That's definitely something. Um, but I do not ever want anyone ever to feel unsafe with me. Um, and I'm only here as an older trans person to tell you that things are going to get better. That you can transition later in life and live your best life. I know that I'm going to be living my best life very soon. Um, I'm super excited. So many things, like my friend Justice, and if you guys haven't been to Justice's channel, I would really suggest that you guys check it out. I'm sponsoring Justice as well. Justice is sponsoring Lynna's life on her channel. Well, I'm sponsoring Ariel Leira on my channel as well. Justice is a wonderful middle-aged trans woman. She's like 10 years younger than me. And I'm like so jealous of her, honestly, because she's done it all. And she's so pretty. Justice, I'm jealous of you. Now she's gonna get a facelift, and I'm like, and she's like, look, everyone, look, look. I just,
Just get
I
rid
just
of
want to be able
these
to
bags under my
lose these
eyes.
bags under my eyes and,
And
you know,
I have eyelids that are
pull
starting to
my face
come.
back and look
I
20
know, like,
years
if I
younger.
wait
I
too
want to
long,
look
my
like a 20
eyelids
year
will
old.
fold over my
And I'm
eyes.
like,
So I'm
I
gonna.
do too. But before that, I want to get rid of the last remaining whiskers on my face. And see, I still have like discoloration that I have to go through and put on like foundation to blotch it and cover it. And then I put too much foundation on, and then it's like it gets like really gunky looking and not natural and causes me dysphoria, right? Because I don't like, and like down here, up around my chin, out here, my neck. It's like I touch it right now. Look, I feel I'm touching, and I can hear it grinding. And that's the sound of stupid hairs that still grow. And it's like, God, people don't understand how frustrating it can be. I mean, I was told, I use this little roller thing that pulls the hair, the little spring thing that I show you guys. And I remember being told, I don't know why you spend so much time in the mirror looking at yourself and pulling those hairs out every morning. I mean, if you can't fix it, just might as well live with it. And it's like, um, I'll be pulling those hairs out with that spring thing every morning for the rest of my life if I never get any kind of laser or electrolysis treatment. I'll do it gladly. Why? Because I have dysphoria about my facial hair. I have dysphoria about my hair, right? It's like I want it to grow, I want it to be longer, I want it to be fuller, but as you can see, it's not. So I wear wigs. And, you know, oh, I don't like, it kind of reminds me of like a cross dresser and, you're wearing a wig and you have so many, and it's like, duh, I wouldn't have any if I could just wear my own hair. I mean, I've used toppers as well. Like, I bought a topper even recently. And it's like, I've spent little money, I spent a lot of money. And it like doesn't matter. It just doesn't matter. Because it's like, it's not the right, like my hair's really fine. You guys see it? It's like, it's really fine. I mean, it's it's really fine. So when I go to use a topper, it's like a different type of thickness of hair, and it just feels like it's too much hair, or that it doesn't blend in nicely. Like I see these advertisements for the toppers and stuff, and they're like, oh, and you just put it on and it just kind of blends in with your hair. And it's like, I put it on and it's like, eh. It's like, and I'm still like on one of them that my ex got upset that I got back in November of last year. I spent like $500 on it, and it's on a payment plan. Pay $50 a month. I still owe $250 on it. Just recently paid, you know, but I don't even wear it anymore because it's like it just wasn't the right. Just it was close. We got close, everyone. We got close, but it. So I have certain amounts of dysphoria. Like, I don't like this, like how my mouth does this thing. I don't, God, these facial whisker things that are here. That grow. And you can see the little black splotches. And get closer. Right in there. It causing me so much dysphoria, you guys. It's just ridiculous. And then I'm being told, it's never enough with you trans women. You always like, you're never content with what you have. It's from one surgery to the next. And it's like, no, not. Well, yeah. Yeah, that is what it's like. Because we don't feel complete until we've done everything we needed to do. Some people feel like they are complete after they do a certain this or that. And others of us feel complete when we do certain other things. And for me, it drives me bonkers, some of those things. But being with a person who was constantly telling you that you're obsessed, that you think about it too much, and given the fact that this person passed impeccably well, small hands, small feet, or not, never did I ever, ever, ever hear anybody go, oh, look at that person. They must be a woman because their hands are so tiny, or their tiny wrists. It's like, that is such a fallacy. I mean, no one ever in the 6 years that we were together said anything to that person. Ever. Ever. Like, I don't remember one time. Not one. But they pointed out the fact that my hands were too big, or that my head was too big. I remember having detransition in 2016. I was in Florida. I had cut my hair, and we were meeting with a young couple that had recently gotten engaged. And the the woman came over to a vegan restaurant with her fiance. She was carrying, see, like, it's so annoying. She was carrying a bouquet of flowers and she presented it to my ex. My ex had detransitioned, and she was doing her best version of, oh, thank you. Oh, thank you so much. You're so sweet. I have missed not being able to get flowers for years. And it was like, oh boy, what part of the Twilight Zone have I stepped into here? So we sat across each other and we talked and ordered food and prayed together and shared together. And the girl looks at me, the young woman looks at me. She goes, and you thought that you were a woman? Oh my gosh, with that head size? I mean, and your hands and your feet and you know, you're tall and you're this, you're that. And I'm like thinking to myself, holy hell, what have I got myself into? My dysphoria is on fire at that point. Because although I detransitioned, I was still like in a lot of pain, right? Um, and I was like, yeah, yeah, right. What an idiot. Why would I imagine that I could ever be that? Yeah, I just, you know, my physical characteristics, blah, 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 blah. And I was just like going along with it. And that night I was like crying in my apartment. And I was just so distraught. So distraught, you guys. I was like, I told my ex, I was like, I can't, I can't do this. I can't live like this. It's killing me again. It's hurting my heart. It's making me feel awful. I'm dying inside. I can't breathe. It's hurting me. It's hurting my heart. I can't do life like this. It's killing me. It's just too hard. I don't know what we're doing. I can't do it. This is just too much. Oh, you need to pray and get, you know, get victory over it. I mean, we've already transitioned. I'm like, I'm sorry. I don't know how much longer I can pull it off. Well, I've got you on T and, you know, you're changing. I'm like, yeah, I'm changing. Yeah. And it's killing me. Don't you see that? Can't you see the pain I'm in? I was like walking along at the beach and we went for a walk and there were like these monkey bar things, you know, for training or whatever. I jump on them and I'm like doing moves and everything and I'm feeling strength that I hadn't had because I was on this testosterone shot that he was giving she was giving me. And I looked at her as she's looking at me with like these eyes like, that's my man. I'm so proud of him. And I'm looking back at her and I'm going, what? I don't like my body. I don't like what I'm becoming. I don't want to be with this person if this is the life I'm supposed to have. I mean, what am I doing here? I need to go back to my family if this is what's going to happen to me. But I can't do this. And this person has the gall to say, you know, Lynna, the happiest time of my life was when we both detransitioned back in 2016 and I was living my life as your wife. And I'm like, well, that's funny because it was like very much connected to the most miserable time that I had. A time that I regret. A time that I know I did out of pain of losing my kids. Not from not wanting to be who I know myself to be, which is a certain type of woman. I don't know. Can't explain it. Can't really tell you how it is that I've come to that understanding. But for me, in my life, in order to be straightforward and completely honest and giving everyone around me the best me that I can give you, it's Lynna. It's the woman that you see in this video. That's me. And so I decided at that point we were going to get baptized. And I'm like, why do you want to get baptized with me? I mean, I got baptized, but when I was 12 or whatever, I even had the little paper to show for it. I have the paper. I mean, I don't need to go again, but I guess I'll do it for you because, as to be a supportive spouse. So we got baptized again, right? On the beach in Pompano Beach, Florida. So do you renounce your sinful life from before and, blah, blah, blah? Yeah, uh-huh. And then I'm thinking to myself, I don't know. This isn't gonna last. So after I got dunked, that's what I called the video. We got dunked because it was like I was so like not like excited about it. And I made this video. There I am with my slicked back, wet hair, and I'm just like talking, got my backpack, and there's my ex all happy that she got baptized and I was a super Christian woman. And I'm like, okay, well, yep, we did that. Now what? What are we going to do next, right? And it was only like 3 days later that I was like, you know what? I'm going back to being me. I can't do this anymore. I don't know what you want to do. I'm not asking you to do it, but I literally can't stomach this nonsense any longer. I mean, there was a point where you're like, Lynna, or whatever before they called me. It's like, we need to go to Social Security, change our names and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, oh, okay. And then I like found a moment of weakness, and I was like, okay, let's go do it. Okay, before I change my mind, let's go, let's go, let's go. So we went, waited in line, got to the office, tried to change them. They go, I'm sorry, you're gonna have to have a medical exam. Your papers only work one direction, they don't work both ways. You're gonna have to get, more authority to reverse these changes. And thank you for coming. And I was like, thank God. Almost blew it. Almost made the worst mistake of my life. I go, see? God doesn't want us to change. We're beautiful, just as we are. And I decided there and then, it ain't for me. I'm jumping back in. I'm going to live my best life. At that point, I had been in conversation with my kids. They were kind of excited and looking forward to, getting back connected and stuff. And then when I broke the news, it was like, no, no, we don't want you to do that. We don't want you to be happy. We want you to be what you were before. We don't understand why you want to be the other. We just want our dad back. And I'm like, I'm so sorry. Remember having a conversation with my ex. So many exes, right? Have two exes. XX, my first ex, sitting at a Mexican restaurant and saying, you know what, I can't. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. So, okay. All right. I'll tell the kids. Okay, bye. That was it. So, I made my decision. I did what I needed to do to survive. Ooh, my tummy just made a sound. But it was hard, you guys. It was hard. And for some people, they call it the best time of our being together. How ironic that it coincides with the worst possible moment of my married life to this person. So many things I'm working through, so many things I'm dealing with. I don't want to go on with this video any longer because it's getting too long. I always do videos that are like an hour or something, and I don't know if people even watch them, but I do them, and I guess they help me sorting out my feelings and stuff. So, thanks again, you guys, for listening, watching. Again, I'm so sorry if I hurt any of your feelings or over anything that I would have said. I was out of my mind, everybody. Just didn't have it. And I'm completely responsible for all of it. But can't really take it back. Can only learn and grow and become a better person. Missing the mark makes you a better person. It doesn't define you as evil. Just remember that. Sin is just making mistakes. And when you make enough mistakes, you run into the answer, the solution, the fix. All right. I'll see you guys on another video at another time. Thanks for watching Lynna's Life. Hope I didn't bore you guys too much. See you. Bye.